Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Wood.
And I'm Carrie Lazarus. We've just been watching some of the most devastating, astounding photography that's ever been taken on one of the most devastating days in the history of this country.
This one's very, very personal, you know, for our football program, not for me.
I was in school when it happened, 4th grade, and I seen the tears for all the loved ones that was lost. I know the feeling. I had loved ones lost, and it's a hurtful feeling.
And I was coaching at Northern Illinois, about 60 miles away from Chicago, and we always had airplanes. Their flight patterns were always coming over us. You know, every day in practice, you know, there were always 4 or 5 plays where you couldn't hear each other and that sort of thing. And then that day you could hear a pin drop at practice, you know. And we were watching film, and all of a sudden, every time you clicked off the film and you got ready to go to something else, the TV would come on in the background because of the way it was set up, and boom, there it was, the towers. And, you know, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
I think we were singing the national anthem at 8 in the morning in my homeroom, and all we see, like, all of a sudden, the news, like, the airplane just crashing into the first tower, and like no one, like, we just stopped.
I know where my dad worked. He works in a hospital, and I remember going up to the top floor, and I could see the smoke. It hurt us as a nation.
You could see the buildings from in one of my classrooms, and I really didn't know what was going on. No one really knew what was going on because no one would say anything, but they kept slowly getting kids out of school, but I was like one of the last to leave. So when I found out, like, during my video class, that they said the Twin Towers, there's been a tragedy. There's 2 planes that crashed into the World Trade Center. It was one of those things. You know, we were kind of young, so it was kind of hard to believe.
A lot of people were scared, terrified. You know, like, we're really closely related to the United States, and there's a lot of people that have family in the States, a lot of people that have family in the Army, you know, and I would say that fear was the emotion that was felt the most.
All the parents were crying, all the teachers were crying. You got to class, you just sat there and they explained it to you, and people's parents who were working in the Trade Center were called out of class. So a completely horrible day that, like, I'll remember for the rest of my life, but definitely wish I never experienced.